Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today I'm going to be doing a Master Duel Battlin' Boxer deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this one for you guys because we just got some amazing support for Battlin' Boxer in Master Duel. This deck is super fun to be able to play and it's crazy powerful now that we have all the support that we need for this deck. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Like getting your name description for every single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your Patreon. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're playing 3 copies of Battlin' Boxer Promoter. Promoter is definitely a 3-of in the build because this card is basically like a rescue rabbit for the deck. That if your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can also tribute this card to special summon up to 2 Battlin' Boxer monsters with different names from your deck except another copy of this card. And you can also banish this card from your graveyard to increase or decrease level of all Battlin' Boxer monsters that you currently control by 1. Which is an insane ability to use this card, and when you use these effects, you cannot special summon monsters the turn you activate this effect except for Battlin' Boxer monsters, which is not that big of a deal, but it's still a really insane effect to be able to use to instantly get 2 boxers out on your side of the field. This card is definitely a 3-of and an extremely important card that you want to get to as quickly as possible. We then play 3 copies of Uppercutter. Uppercutter is amazing to be able to summon off your copy of Promoter because this card is the ability if it's normal or special summon, you get to add a Battlin' Boxer monster or a counter trap from your deck to your hand, except a copy of this card. And if this card is sent to the grave by a card effect, you get to activate one of these effects to either special summon a Battlin' Boxer monster from the graveyard except a copy of this card, or set a counter trap directly from your grave to your side of the field, which is an amazing ability because we have 2 awesome targets in the deck that we can actually set with this card's ability. We then play 3 copies of Chief Second. Chief Second is amazing as a 3-of because during your main phase, you can normal summon a Battlin' Boxer monster in addition to your normal summoner set, which is a really cool ability to instantly use this card. And what's really awesome is the 2 best targets to summon off your copy of Promoter is actually going to be Uppercutter and Chief Second to be able to summon off your copy of Promoter, which is just really cool. And when your opponent's monster declares an attack, while you control a warrior or a fire monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. If you do, negate the attack, then banish a monster from on the field into the end phase of the turn, which is an amazing ability just to give you a little bit of protection. We then play 3 copies of Spar. Spar is an awesome extender in the deck, but the only downside to this card is if you special summon this card, you cannot conduct your battle phase for the rest of the turn, which is awesome to be able to summon this card during the main phase too, after you've already conducted your battle phase for the turn. We then play 2 copies of Switch Hitter. Switch Hitter is really awesome as a 2-of in the build. I absolutely love this card in the deck because it has the ability when it's normal summon, you can target a Battlin' Boxer monster in your graveyard and special summon that target, which is just an awesome ability to instantly get you another boxer on your side of the field. We then play a single copy of Glassjaw. Glassjaw is really good as a 1-of because this card has the ability when this card is targeted for an attack, you just destroy this card. And when this card is sent to the grave by a card effect, you actually get to target a Battlin' Boxer monster in your graveyard, except a copy of Glassjaw, and add it back to your hand. We then play a single copy of Battlin' Boxer Shadow. Shadow is amazing in the deck as a 1-of because during your main phase, you can detach a material from this card, or from a Battlin' Boxer monster, that's an XZ, and then you actually get to special summon this card from your hand, which is an awesome ability. I love that about this card, that it's such a good extender. By just detaching a material from one of your Battlin' Boxer XZs, you instantly get to put this card out on your side of the field, helping you extend your plays going into more XZ plays. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom is definitely a 3-of in the build, just to basically stop your opponent from touching the deck. We then play 3 copies of Maxi. Maxi is insane in Master Duel, basically letting you draw a card every time your opponent special summons, which is crazy powerful, and it's insane that this card is at 3, and since it is a Master Duel deck profile, you gotta play 3 Maxi. We then play 2 copies of Nibiru. Nibiru is amazing at helping you break your opponent's board, and it's just a fantastic hand trap overall. And then we play 2 copies of Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler is also definitely a 2-of in the build, just to basically stop your opponent's monster effects. The cool thing about Battlin' Boxer is there's so much room for hand traps with the 3 copies of your Ash Blossom, Maxi, Nibiru, and Effect Filler, and even Infinite Impermanence in the deck, which is just absolutely crazy the amount of hand traps you can actually play in this build. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get in to the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of Rhoda. Rhoda is really good as a one-of in the deck because we're playing all warrior monsters, so this card can search out basically any boxer that you need. We then play a single copy of Battle Box and Spirit. Battle Box and Spirit is great as a one-of because you send the top card of your deck to the graveyard, then target a Battle Boxer monster in the graveyard and special summon that target in face-up defense position, which is an amazing ability just to extend your plays. We then play a single copy of Ring Announcer. Ring Announcer is great in the deck, but you only need a single copy of this card. And it has the ability this card is always treated as a Battle Boxing card, and it lets you special summon a Battle Boxer monster from your hand and then destroy spells and traps on the field up to the number of XZ monsters that you control, which is a really cool ability just to deal with the spells and traps on the field while also extending your plays. We then play a single copy of Pot of Prosperity. Pot of Prosperity is currently at 1 in Master Duel, so we're only going to be playing a single copy in this build, but it's definitely a one-of in the deck just to help you dig into the deck. We then play a single copy of Crossout Designator. Crossout Designator is amazing, especially with the amount of hand traps we're playing that we can stop in this build. We then play 2 copies of Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is really good at stopping your opponent's hand traps while you're going in for all of your plays. We then play 2 copies of Durandal. Durandal is really good as a 2-of in the build because this card is basically Rhoda for the deck, that when this card is equipped to a monster, you can add a level 5 or lower Fire Warrior monster from your deck to your hand, then destroy this card, which is the effect we always want to use on this card, basically having 2 more copies of Rhoda in the deck to equip to an opponent's monster, equip to one of our monsters, and then use this card to search any of our boxers that we need because they're all Fire Warriors. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get in to the traps. So for the traps, we're going to start with a single copy of Battle Boxing Cross Counter. Cross Counter is really good as a one-of in the build because this card can be searched off your copy of Uppercutter. And this card has the ability when your opponent activates a monster effect, destroy a Battle Boxer or a number XZ monster you control. And if you do, negate the activation. If you do that, destroy that monster. Then you can apply the following effect to special summon a Battle Boxer XZ monster from your extract with a different name than the first monster, and if you do, attach this card to it as a material, which is a great ability to be able to use this card. We then play a single copy of Flameville Counter. Flameville Counter is great in the deck as a one-of because this card is a counter trap that is searchable off your copy of Uppercutter with the ability that you banish a fire monster in your graveyard with 200 defense to negate the activation of a spell or trap on the field and destroy that card, which is a great effect to be able to use because your copy of Uppercutter has 200 defense points, so it works with this card. We then play 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Because we already didn't have enough hand traps in the deck, we also play the 3 copies of Imperm because there's so much room in this deck to be able to play hand traps, which is amazing about boxers because you have literally a counter for everything. But this card is amazing to be able to stop your opponent's monster effects and lock down entire columns of spells and traps. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to start off with 3 copies of King Dempsey. King Dempsey is definitely a 3F in the build because this card is one of the best cards to be able to summon out to your side of the field. With the ability, if this card is special summon, you can take a level 4 lower Fire Warrior monster or a Battle Boxer spell or trap from your deck and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. And quick effect, you can detach a material from this card, and then you can actually have the ability that if you do detach a material from any XZ monster that you control, it has the ability that your opponent cannot target Battle Boxer monster you control with card effects for the rest of the turn, which is an insane ability to use with this card, and I absolutely love that ability. We then play 2 copies of C79. C79 is great as a 2-of in the build, and it has the ability gains 200 attack points for each material attached to this card, and once per turn, when your opponent would special summon a monster, quick effect, you can detach 2 materials on this card, and if you do, negate the summon, and and if you do that, destroy that monster, which is an insane ability to use this card. You're usually just summoning out this card to your side of the field with Promoter's ability, because we don't play any rank up magic cards in this build, but it's still really good to be able to summon in the deck. We then play 2 copies of Yugioh. Yugioh is amazing in the deck as a 2-up, as this card has the ability if a Battle Boxer monster you control would be destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can detach a material from this card instead of destroying one of those monsters. And when an Izzy material is detached from this card, it gains 800 attack points, boosting this card all the way up to 3,800 if you detach both of its materials to protect cards, which is insane. We then play a single copy of number 79. Number 79, Nova Kaiser, is just a really good 1-of in the deck. That's a good option to be able to make in this build. I like this card as a 1-of, but you really only need a single copy. We then play a single copy of number 105. 105 is amazing in this deck as a 1-of, because during either player's battle step, if a Battle Boxer monster you control battles an opponent's monster, detach a material from this card and negate the effects of that opponent's monster until the end of the turn. And that monster you control cannot be destroyed by battle. Also, your opponent takes any battle damage you would have taken from that battle, which is a great effect to use with this card. We then play a single copy of Baguska just in case we need to slow down the game. This card is really good as a 1-of in the deck. We then play a single copy of Abyss Dweller to lock down the graveyards, which is just really good to be able to use with this card, because it is an amazing thing to be able to lock down graveyards. 1 copy of number 60 to double the attack of a monster, bring a monster back from the graveyard, or draw 2 and discard 1, which is just really nice. 1 copy of Utopic Future. This card is really good to be able to summon out to your side of the field, so we can summon our copy of Utopic Draco Future, which is a crazy powerful walking negate in the deck. And then finally we play a single copy of AA Zeus just to board wipe the field in case we need to. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This deck is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played Battle and Boxer before in Master Duel, now is the perfect time now that we have all this crazy powerful support. I absolutely love playing this deck. It was actually the very first deck profile on the channel, which is really, really cool, but I absolutely love Battle and Boxers because they're just super fun to play. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in next videos. See you later, guys.